Hello, Hofstra fans, and welcome to the W. Mason Coach Report with head women's lacrosse coach Shannon Smith. Welcome, Coach.
Thank you for having me.
Coach, the final week of the regular season, your team heads to Drexel on Saturday. We'll get to that game a little later in the show, but let's first talk about the week that was. A 1-1 week, a narrow one-goal loss to Towson, and then you rebounded with a great win at Delaware. Let's talk about the Towson game. Just another quality lacrosse game. What did you see from your team in that game?
Yeah, I thought we were really tough. I thought that we were very resilient throughout the whole game. Unfortunately, it was another heartbreaking loss for us. All the credit to Towson. They played extremely well. Their goalkeeper played well, and they did defensively. I just think that they had a couple more breaks their way than we had our way, and it was a really hard-fought game. I think that we can learn a lot from it, but I'm really proud of our kids on the way they played. Unfortunately, the outcome is not the way we wanted it, but we still have more left in our season, so we're excited for the future.
It was one of the longest lacrosse games I've ever been involved in. I was pushing 2.5 hours, just a lot of stoppages. Did you feel that got you out of you're a team that flows offensively with a lot of shots. Did you feel that the stalemate almost caused your team to kind of lose focus at times, or?
No, I don't think that we lost focus at all. I just think that we just weren't hitting our shots. Like, we are a team that flows offensively. I thought that we had a lot of shots, but we just missed a lot. And we missed our opportunities. But it was a really long game. I thought that it was super hot as well. I think our kids did a really great job at staying hydrated, being conditioned in the game. And unfortunately, it just didn't go our way. But, all the credit to Towson, and we're just excited for the future.
And the unique CA schedule will lead you to another split weekend, home one game, away the next. So Sunday would take you to Delaware, and as you talked about all week last week, it was a must-win game. Postseason implications, just getting your team's mindset right, and you went down there and you really just took care of business from this 5 minutes into the game, up 6-1 to start. You had to love your team's effort in the first 10 minutes of that game. What did you see from your team?
Yeah, we knew that we needed to win that game. We had to be extreme focus, and it's really hard coming off of 2 heartbreaking losses against JMU and Towson to then have to regroup really quickly for Delaware. And I think that was our message in our locker room against Towson as soon as the game was over on Friday. It wasn't something that we could dwell on. It was something that we had to move forward from, and we had to really focus on Delaware to keep the team together, because we know we have a really good team in that locker room. I kind of told the kids a little bit that we needed to win 2 games to get into our conference tournament, because they really needed them focused for the Delaware game, and it was something that we decided to do as a coaching staff. And luckily enough for me, not a lot of the players looked at the standings, so it worked in our favor. Because we really needed them focused for the Delaware game, and I thought that Delaware got that quick one on us, but I think that we really then settled in and we focused, and I think offensively we played really well. I think Cameron Faith, Amanda Greer, and Aaron Demick, 3 freshmen, really stepped up for us and played some crucial roles and important roles for us in our offense. It was exciting to get that win, to be able to tell our team in the locker room, what we did, and I think that they were extremely happy to be able to get their spot in the tournament, especially our seniors. So we're excited for that, but we're also excited for the weekend this weekend for another week for us to get better and play against Drexel.
Yeah, like last year with all the different variables that played into the tiebreakers, you wanted to take it out of the tiebreaker hands,
yes.
and you did that on Sunday. You just talked about 3 of the freshmen. Your freshman class has really stepped up as the season progressed. And lately it's been the offensive part, where early on in the season was defense. It was freshmen on defense. What have you liked from them lately that have allowed them to be such strong contributors?
Yeah, I gotta give them a lot of credit. Some of them didn't really see a lot of playing time in the beginning of season, and they kept with it. They put a lot of extra work in outside of practice. Some of them here like 7 a.m. in the morning before they go to class, and they're putting extra work in, whether it's in the weight room, whether it's out there on the field. And I think they really just have a lot of confidence right now, and I think that's due to our leadership. Alyssa, helping lead the offensive side of the field, making those kids more comfortable. Torian Barn, our coach on offense, putting a lot of extra work in with the players and making them better. And I think it's just their will to want to win, and their will to want to continue to survive and get more weeks with our team.
And our weekly Alyssa Perella segment set the school record for points in the game against Delaware. CA Player of the Week for the 5th time, the most in the conference since at least 2000, which is just remarkable. Talk about the record and the week that was. She had a strong week, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, Alyssa's the best player in our conference. She's one of the top players in the country. I think she deserves to be talked about with some of the top players out there. And she's put on quite a show here her junior year. Her foot speed is some of the she's got the best foot speed, quickest first step in the country. I've never seen anything like it throughout my years of playing in college and now coaching in college. I've never seen anything like it. Her work ethic is unreal, and she deserves everything that she's getting right now. It's been quite remarkable to watch her, because I also had the privilege of watching Britain break these records, and to see Alyssa do it so quickly is incredible. And all the credit goes to her teammates for helping her, but the credit goes to her for putting the work in. And I know Alyssa, she was sitting here, part of this conversation, she'll just tell you that her focus is really wanting to win a CAA championship. But I think when all said and is done, playing in college myself, I think that she also has to take a step back and look at the career that she's having, because it's a special one, and you want to be able to cherish it as well, and not just kind of push it to the side, because not a lot of people get this opportunity where Alyssa's at right now, and to have these type of records. So she deserves to be talked about with the top players in the country, because she is a top player in the country, and quite frankly I think she's the best junior, and I think she's the best player in our conference, and she's one of the best players in the country right now, and she deserves to be talked about like Sam Apuzzo's talked about in the country.
Well said. One more regular season game remaining at Drexel on Saturday, 3 p.m. game on WLAX Sports Network. Obviously, seeding wise, everything else the tournament's all set for you guys.
Yep.
What do you hope to gain out of this game, and what are your keys to winning?
Yeah, Drexel's really tough. They have a really good defense. I think that offensively we need to continue to gain our confidence. I think, we have Alyssa, and, you have Alexa and Katie, who are leaders, and I think we're still trying to find our identity, and if everyone can continue to chip away and do what they're doing and play with confidence, that will be exciting for us going into the conference championship weekend. We need Darcy to dominate on the draws. I think that, Darcy Smith's like an unsung hero on our team, doesn't get really talked about a lot, but does all the little things for us, and dominates the draws, and she's having a special season, breaking records on those draws. And defensively, we're super young, but their leadership between Annalise and Darcy down there has been tremendous, with our 5 freshmen and then our sophomore Shannon Boyle. So defensively we got to tighten some things up, we got to get better, and offensively we need to continue to gain confidence, shoot well, and on the draws we've got to really dominate, because they're really special on the draw at Drexel.
Do you talk about these records, like the Darcy record? She's nearing the CA single season record, and the CA is a legendary women's lacrosse conference, and Darcy's about to break the single season draw control record, and we've talked extensively about Alyssa's records, but do you talk about that with the team?
We sometimes we don't. I did bring it up after the Delaware game. I thought that was important to recognize the accomplishment that Alyssa did have, and I wasn't even sure if Alyssa knew. And I did bring it up, but what I pressed is saying was that none of this would be possible without the current players on the team. And I said, Alyssa, it also wouldn't be possible without our alumni from her freshman and sophomore year, and the team offense that we had for her to be able to have these numbers. And we talked about Darcy on the draw, and how it wouldn't be possible without Alexa and Shannon Boyle and Katie Whalen and Alyssa pushing her every day in her draw circle, and also Amanda Johansson really helping and doing an exceptional job every day on the draw and pushing. So it's a team effort, and I didn't want it to go unnoticed, because I think it is a special record to talk about for both Alyssa and Alexa. JMU had such an amazing run last year, winning the national championship, and 2 of their players broke these records that were in the CAA for a long time, and they did it in 23 games, and our players hopefully can do it within 17 games.
Well, Coach, wish you good luck in game 17 this weekend at Drexel, again Saturday at 3 p.m. on WLAX Sports Network, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on the W. Mason Coach Report with head women's lacrosse coach Shannon Smith.